We really only got one thing to talk about today. One thing that really means a lot of things we need to talk about today because the Golden State Warriors and the Los Angeles Lakers played Game Six, and the Warriors season is over. Some may say the dynasty's over. I don't think anybody in the building was saying that, but yeah, I'm gonna let y'all get right into it. Go. I didn't get to watch. I was at work, but thoughts go into it. I feel like Jordan, you watched the most of the game, but y'all both watched at
Yeah,
least the second half.
that's yeah. I would say if you want to start with the first half, Jordan, kind of what you saw there, because I feel like I didn't. I need a
Uh,
first half recap from the
yeah,
second.
from the jump, I was pretty scared. It looked ugly. Um, yeah, Clay. Yeah, well, yeah, we just started off the game. We just couldn't. We got good looks starting off the game. We just couldn't make open shots, and that was pretty much everybody, including Steph. Actually, I
Mm-hmm.
don't even know when Steph made his first jump shot. I know he got going with the layups. Uh, yeah, after, but that was just after things just weren't falling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then Dante came in, started to hit shots, and that was pretty much the tail of the game. Nobody really got going at all, and
So that's
it was tough to watch. It was tough to watch, like just like because even then, like even with Steph knowing, like Steph able to notice that he was struggling with his jumper, but still realized he had to get it going, and seeing him get it going, but just I don't know, maybe not too late, but just not seeing nobody else just picking up on the slack, pretty much. Like,
yeah,
yeah, only so much can be on one man's back.
yeah. It's like you could feel it in the second half, kind of on both ends of the floor. Just what they weren't. Yeah, it's just kind of even. He felt like he couldn't get going, and they couldn't get any momentum in the game. They couldn't consistently get stops, and it felt like a whether it was a talent gap, like a height size gap, like with strength gap, kind of Anthony Davis and LeBron kind of just locked in. Best, are the two best players playing next to each other in the front court, probably what it looks like. But yeah, it definitely felt like you're saying like that second half, like Steph did start to get it. I didn't see much the first half. It didn't seem like he had like an amazing first half, but it seemed like he started to get the floaters going, got a couple jumpers going in the third, like mid third, I think. And but it never felt like they could build any legitimate momentum to get the game within 10. I feel like they might have cut it at most 10 or 11. I don't think they ever got it within double digits in the second half of when I was watching. It was pretty much stayed. No, they started the
Yeah,
half down 10, and
they never got it under 10,
yeah.
actually. Shit, what
But
else
yeah,
happened? Oh yeah,
it seemed like
yeah,
the from what I was because Mike had mentioned he had checked the box, and at some point the bench was
Oh
kind of
yeah, you
all
replied to
positive.
that tweet.
Bench was all positive, and the starters were negative in the like first at some point in the first half. And then when I started watching, Moody was just out there being kind of trying to be a Swiss Army knife for this team. It was cool and interesting to watch, actually, just as that Warriors fan in me that always wants to see the players we draft like turn into something. Just to see Moody out there playing confidently and trying to make plays and making plays and guarding LeBron James and boxing out Anthony Davis, like just trying his best to just gonna give that effort. But it seems like we might have got effort from Dante, from Moody, from Looney, like three of the bench players. And it still seems like they can never generate anything to generate enough to feel like we were generate momentum, pretty much like the Warriors need to do, like the Warriors have done before.
Yeah, just to go specifically to not specifically, but to bring to clarify, not clarify, but to that thing you were talking about, the thing we were
Mm-hmm.
talking about. It was I had a tweet. I'm actually gonna put it on the screen now if it'll pop up. Did not pop up, so we're not gonna do that. But yeah, the plus minus in the first half was just really interesting. So I'll just say real quick: Steph minus 11. Looks like Clay minus 17, Dre minus 25. Actually, I don't know specifically, but the starters were all minus 11 or worse, and the bench was all plus 2 or higher, and Looney was a team high plus 16. So I was just kind of confused, but it seems like the way it got described. Just one of those things they got ran in the first quarter, bench came out there and actually cut it down a little bit, then the starters came in and they got ran off the court again. It was just interesting way to see it go. I feel like for a season of people trying to, this isn't even specifically about Jordan Poole, but I feel like just kind of find anybody to blame. But the main guys. And again, I get a regular season of the champions. We're gonna need these dudes to win as this series and the last series showed. But it was funny that it did end with like, oh yeah, they all kind of besides Steph played like shit. Wasn't like any like particular group, just everybody that wasn't Steph Curry pretty much played like shit, and can't win that way. So
Nope.
any other
Yeah, no,
go ahead.
Wiggins
I mean,
two for Wiggins
like,
was hurt. I didn't know
yeah,
that.
Wiggins had the
Yeah,
injury.
Wiggins had the rib thing. It says the same thing that Looney played through in 19, in the 19 finals. But
That's
yeah,
one of the ones I can't imagine that. That's you just taking body contact all game. But salute to Wiggins for toughening that out. Uh, Play, I think that's probably where the discussion of the future starts, and probably what his play in this game, this playoffs, and just Klay Thompson, the Warriors legend, the Splash brother. Felt like it was a rough night for him tonight specifically, and I don't. Yeah, I feel like it's okay. Let's say him and Jordan Poole. I feel like they're at very different stages in their career. And I don't know if the Warriors know what to do with them. I don't know how the Warriors make both of these players work together on the same team, even. Or, yeah. Yes, it's just, the conversation, I guess, of the future of the Warriors probably starts with Jordan Poole. But I think it also should start with Klay Thompson because
it's
we got
going
to
to
figure this thing out, man.
as much as people don't want it to start with Klay Thompson. There, maybe Klay will come off of his demands just because you always make those type of demands just for bargaining reasons. But I don't know. Klay said he wants to be compensated. He wants to get paid, and it seems like I don't think Lakers gonna want to pay if they didn't win. So that's gonna be Clay's just gonna be at the forefront because Clay's up for the extension. But yeah, it is interesting either or that may come about. I wouldn't be surprised if it's either one. Like maybe
Yeah, no, I mean that's how I feel. Like that's why it's interesting that I don't know. It's hard to tell where they're gonna go with this because I think isn't Bob like I'm not in the contract
Yeah, so
anymore
yeah, I
or
haven't read
Bob's.
specifically, but everybody was posting on Twitter after the game. Like Shams and Slater had the article ready. Like it dropped like 30 minutes after the game and did like full
Yeah,
breakdown, two timelines, who's a free agent. Bob is still hasn't been blocked. There's going to be somebody that replaces Bob. It's going to be what? It's going to be Mike Dunleavy. So there's a lot in the air right now. Yes.
like Mike Dunleavy, the one that I watched as a kid, not Mike
Yes.
Dunleavy,
Yes.
the coach. Mike Dunleavy. This is all coming back around in an uncomfortable way, man. Oh, that made my stomach hurt. That was 2003, 2004. We drafted Mike Dunleavy 2003. I was a kid, and I was just like, why? We drafted two white players in a row after Troy Murphy and Mike Dunleavy. Man, they really did. I almost gave up on the Warriors. I almost was never a Warriors fan. That's because of those 8, 9-year-old me trying to believe. I believed in Mike Dunleavy. That was the problem. I thought he was gonna be good. When I played with him on
Hey,
2K, it's
yeah,
terrible.
had himself an NBA career,
It's yeah.
But yeah, no, he wasn't.
Ooh.
Sad Warriors days.
But no,
Probably
Mike,
makes.
that's crazy.
Yeah, no, he's the guy. Yeah, that
That
doesn't
he's the guy.
really doesn't bring up the best memories. But yeah, I think there's still hope that it could be Myers. But I think that's the most interesting thing about this team is that it really does seem like nothing is set in stone but Steph Curry and Kevon Looney and probably Andrew Wiggins. But even then, like not, I don't know if they're gonna go into this summer looking to move Wiggins. But if Wiggins, I can see Wiggins becoming part of a bigger thing when they're trying to move some other people. But I think
Yeah.
those two are. I don't think either one of those guys because you can't get their value back. Just because
Wiggins
Looney's
is
contract is too
Wiggins.
good,
Yeah.
you're not gonna get better from trading Steph Curry's fucking Steph Curry. But I think everybody else, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
My bad. What were you gonna say on Wiggins?
So Wiggins' spot or just place feels a little safer than probably everyone else. Just off of it feels like talent wise, like he probably just lines up next. I mean, because of talent and age, like he just lines up like next, like in terms of value. I feel like, and yeah, from where that have they extended him since, or is he still on his last Minnesota deal? The
No, he
max.
signed the extension. That was the funny part. Him and Poole
He signed the
pretty
one.
much
Okay,
signed
yeah,
at the same
yeah,
time.
yeah.
But he
That's what it
signed
was.
for
Yep.
Poole signed first, and everybody was worried about the
And then
Wiggins one. And
Wiggins
then
took that.
Poole
Yeah,
signed like a 90 over 5 years thing, something that was like, oh, that's really great value. Which is also probably like the three guys that are untouchable are the three guys on the best value contracts. Steph Curry,
yeah.
who is always going to be worth more than he can be paid. Well, at least for this season he wasn't. You project going forward at least one more year. Andrew Wiggins, who took a pay cut, and Kevon Looney, who may be the most underpaid player in the NBA. I don't know.
That's a rebounder. That's right. So got a rebound under low pay rebounder. That's gonna get more valuable than that. Defender rebounder.
Hmm. So yeah, no. Any other thoughts on the pool Clay part of it? There's a lot of pieces to get to here. I feel like we can talk about Draymond.
Pools
I
out
feel
of
like
here.
Draymond, Jonathan Kuminga is the next conversation. But is there? You said Pool's out of here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think Pools out of here.
as somebody who has become a Pool fan and at least a Pool defender, I kind of do want it. I feel like at this, I hit a point. I feel like a couple of weeks ago or maybe a month or so ago. It's like I don't know if it's gonna happen here. As much as I still think he might have
Yeah.
it, I don't know if this is the place where it's gonna happen. Um,
The
Just
talk is
doesn't
just
make.
crazy. I probably just need to
I
like
wait,
people. Go ahead, Jordy. My bad.
I don't know. I just feel like it doesn't make. I don't know. I don't feel like the risk makes sense going forward. Just
mm-hmm.
if they're looking to close it out with this,
Yeah,
at least trying to keep two of the core, or three, or all three of them. Like I just
mm-hmm.
feel like it doesn't make sense to not make a move to
Mm-hmm.
yeah to be able to do that in the future.
Yeah. No,
I
that
don't
might
know.
be the thing. That might be the answer here. It's just all right. Yeah, we're sticking with the three. Poole and Kaminga don't have no value. So what can you get for them type thing? Can we turn it into a? Could we turn Poole and Kaminga into guys that either one guy that fits the description of that you want both of them to be, but you're solid, like confident that he can be that guy night in and night out, and in a playoff moment. I don't know if that guy exists. It's weird. They really
Yeah.
could use like I guess not Aaron Gordon because he brings the same problem Kaminga does, but they just yeah
What's
they
Bridges doing, man?
man you guys are shooting high
Gotta
man.
throw nah, we
Oh
gotta
yeah.
throw one of them in there. Who
Both of them,
Clay,
both of them.
Clay, Kaminga, Poole, who else?
That's the thing. It's
Um,
Poole Kaminga Wiggins. You're not getting
Wiggins.
Bridges. You're not getting Bridges for less. They don't even want Clay. Poole Kaminga Wiggins, and
That's yeah, because Clay needs
Yeah.
to be a six man if he's
yeah,
gonna stay. It's time to talk about that too.
Oh man.
Six man Clay, he can't guard anybody. I'm sorry, that's also what I noticed tonight. It's like, dang,
he's a
It's
what's
it's
his
gonna
hard
be
to
face.
watch.
it's sad because man, them injuries. I was saying, yeah,
Yep.
he'd be a killer off the bench though. I mean, that's the thing. He still got everything in him. Like the confidence is clearly still there. It ain't gonna rock Clay. Missing shots ain't gonna rock Clay from shooting more shots. But I feel like I'm playing against second unit, getting a lot of minutes first time, more limited minutes. Just his jump shooting is still enough to run a whole second offense through. Like probably just when he's good or when he's on, and you kind of live with him coming off the
Yeah,
bench. You can live with the inconsistencies of it better. So
yeah. You saw it in moments this season. It can be that. Um, he's a prideful guy, man. Not even in the bath. Prideful feels like a not derogatory. Feels like a pejorative. He's a
I can go take
he's
it.
not a
Pride.
guy. He's not a guy that's going to take the spot if he isn't. He's not Andre Iguodala. He's not a guy that will take the spot knowing he's better than the spot. So
Yeah,
or thinking he's better than he's still probably better. I don't know. It was a rough playoffs, man. Rough playoffs for Clay.
this is where we're at. Is it's just a lot of tough conversations for Steve Kerr and Steph Curry. I don't know what these conversations are, but they got to talk to a lot of people. Curry got to talk to everybody up above him, and Curry got to talk to everybody, all the players underneath him, and they got to figure out what the hell this look like, what's worth keeping,
Problem.
what's worth building chemistry around. Like I feel like I guess those two. What's the vision
Yeah.
with those two at the center of it? Because everything else just feels really that's what we're looking at this team. This down. Like the only thing that's really stable probably about the Warriors is Steve Kerr, Stephen Curry, Kevon Looney. Like those
Mm-hmm.
three are going to be here for this. I think anything else outside of that is like Bob, Draymond, and Clay have all been here for a long ass time. But whatever the future is, it's not going to look the same as what it has before. So it matter what Kerr's voice is, I think, and with Lake Up, Kerr's voice with Mike Dunleavy, and whatever his vision is for what this is going to look like after the experiment. I would say the last phase of this team being since 2000 and since Durant left, and including even the injury year, Poole's rookie year. I think that's the first start of this phase that's ended now. And what does Kerr learn from this phase, and how can he flow, as he loves to say about the on court stuff, how can he create the flow off the court with the organization and to get to get the players and talent he needs for his system? And then how does he connect with Curry? Where does Curry see? What does Curry see with the roster? And for Curry, it's straight up like, what do you feel about Klay Thompson and Draymond Green going forward? Like, it's up to like your voice, and your voice is gonna hold weight in all of this, or it should hold weight of all of this. The two voices together need to put their weight together because Joe Lacob is an idiot and he does not know what to do. So I think they just need to combine. Curry needs to combine to understand what's happened the last 4 years, what this last year's roster was, and then where are we going forward with it.
Yeah, I feel it. What was I gonna say? I think it's funny that because I agree. It is funny that it's like, oh, they need to get it together, but they don't even know who to get it together with. Like, there is no front office for Kerr to get it together, because he literally, like, I don't know, he probably doesn't still know this moment if he's gonna be working with Bob again this summer or not. And then with Steph, the same thing. The Steph part's interesting. Ask him that's the part with Steph that's tough. If you ask him what he really thinks, I just don't know if he's ever gonna say a bad word about. He's not gonna say do it without Steph. Do it without Clay or Dre, which probably isn't an issue, because I was gonna say. So I want to see what y'all think about this. Is like, I feel like Draymond Green kind of has to be a part of this in the same way Bob Myers kind of needs to be a part of this. I feel like Lacob does have. That's the thing, for all of Lacob's incompetencies, he is at times willing to open his wallet. The problem is he hasn't necessarily been willing to open his wallet for somebody like a GM. He's let staff members who were great go because their price got like too high, like type thing. It's a tech thing. You bring in new people and you train them up to be that, so you never have to actually pay for the blah blah blah.
Sounds like white man's capitalism.
Yeah, no, exactly. So it'll be interesting to see if he's willing to break the bank for Bob, which I think he kind of has to do, but I don't know if he's going to be willing to do. And Draymond's interesting one too, because he has been willing to play for players, to give him credit for that. But he also had the caveat of, like, you got to win some got to be winning championships. So this wasn't a championship team. I wonder what he thinks about what that means, about how it needs to go forward. But I kind of do think Draymond has to be a part of this. He showed me enough, even with the bad games. He scored 20 twice in this series.
Yeah, no, he did. He said, it's funny because his press conference, he said, or he basically doubled down. He said, he wants to go out with the guys he came in with. So I feel like he's trying to secure his spot.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, it don't sound like he wants to. He's gonna be
This
pushing.
man he's just dead. Draymond grabbed a leg and squeezed tight when he get nervous. That's all. KD was about to get him up out of there. This man just went and grabbed. No, nobody's trading me. I'm not going anywhere. The dynasty is staying together. We all gonna retire here together. When he get nervous about it, he makes sure. I really want to be here. Of course you do.
That post game was interesting too. He's not really called anybody out really. He just like, I don't know, just said I forgot the exact words he used,
like,
but
pride
just
in what we've done, but realize we didn't do enough. And we have to be like different or something.
That it might. It sounds like he knows it's gonna look like it's gonna look different.
It is really interesting. This is the first time since 2014 that they've done a press conference after losing a series that wasn't the finals. Like, it's the first time really? that's right, because they literally haven't lost in the West since they lost to the Clippers. So 2013? No, 2014. Yeah. 2014 playoffs. So what's interesting is exactly what you probably expected after you look back, but kind of said in the moment, it's almost weird because these guys are so, especially Draymond will say what he wants to say, Clay will say what he wants to say. Kerr and Steph usually are better about, like, there's times they want to get messaging out, and that's when you can really tell, because they usually just kind of play it safe. They'll make the points, like, keep everybody built up, blah blah. Like, all four of them to a man was kind of like, yeah, no, this isn't acceptable. Like, this isn't acceptable, right? Like, this that's funny, like, compared to Giannis, but like, they were all like, without saying the word specifically, they all were like, no, this is a failure. This is not the standard we keep up. Something needs to be different next year, because what we were this season, like, was not. And it's weird because they said it in a way almost, I feel like, caught out the front office too, because it wasn't in like again, I think that's why Steph says it, like, pride in what we've done, but like, I think the
Mm.
way Kerr said it was like, yeah, this obviously this was not a championship basketball team.
Championship, yeah,
Yeah, it's just like because you
yeah,
were a 7 seed, they got eliminated in the second round. So, but yeah,
yeah,
no, it was interesting to see. Kind of saying just from Steph, but from everybody that, nah, like
yeah.
this has weird because it's weird on the Draymond front because like, oh, technically you could be writing your own kind of pink slip technically in that scenario, but I think kind of like you're saying, down, he wants to kind of lock himself in with the winning side here as early as possible. But
Yeah, it's just a value play. I mean, this is good for his career. You got to have as many options as you need. That's why he
it's
talked to
not great
LeBron James
for
so much too.
it's not great for the negotiations though. Him coming out saying he wants to make it work
Yeah,
like off the rip isn't a great
true.
place to start in the bargaining front when you're trying to get
Yeah.
some money. So it is.
When they,
Like
when when there's
I'm sure
when the
Rich
bottom
Paul
of your
wasn't
heart, when
happy
the
that
back of your brain is
Draymond said
the back,
that. You know what I mean?
the anxiety in your brain is saying they might close the door and not call you back ever again. They might not even pick up the phone, kind of thing, or just you might be done when they decide you're done. I guess the part of his brain is like, if they're just done with me, then they're just done with me, and there's nothing I can do about it. Like I guess that part of it. But yeah, like you're
Yeah.
saying, it doesn't help negotiation. Yeah,
Yeah, no, I
yeah,
mean,
that's team,
to your point,
man.
it speaks to his willingness to like. It speaks
Yeah,
to the fact that he's willing to say it. Like I think something that we probably all know, he's willing to say it on mic in that moment. It means something.
Yeah. Yeah, Steph said more than I thought this year, so it was just
because
interesting
he's
seeing all of
crazy.
them do the press conference. Yeah,
Steph like
the
Stephen Kerr and get in they Duncan and Popovich bag. Like we at that place. Steph like 30, 35 now. Like we at
Draymond did
that.
call out Clay by name too. Uh, yeah, he already kind of he said what did he say? Or he felt like Clay rushed a couple shots or yeah was rushing on his shots pretty much. Uh, that was
Huh,
interesting. Yeah,
that's
watching that, and
surprising.
then right after Steph kind of went on and said what he said. It's like, I don't know where you
Interesting.
guys are all at with each other.
Interesting, man. I mean, that's the funniest thing about all three of them is that it's the thing. I feel like Ethan Strauss guy always say, well, we kind of project relationships onto these guys that don't
Yeah,
necessarily exist a lot of times, just with the NBA in general. Like these guys are
Yeah,
teammates, they're friends. Like he always points it out with the whole like NBA players like their shoe deal guys, like the guys that are on shoe contracts with. They vibe with those guys more than their teammates sometimes. Like the Kent Bazemore, Steph Curry thing or whatever. But yeah,
even then,
they're
Steph.
go ahead.
Steph's best, I thought one of Steph's friends early on was Wesley Matthews. What I remember, like the first
Yeah,
3, 4 years of his career, and I was just always felt random to me, but I had to do with maybe either
I think
that was me the
college,
pre
their
Under
college
Armour like
track.
Nike
Yeah.
stuff or
Mm-hmm.
college, or college, or even like maybe some I don't know, whatever. Yeah, it feels
Yeah.
like something to not obviously where
But I think the
think
point,
we would say go ahead.
yeah,
Yeah.
my bad. Point I was trying to get at is just those dynamics between them are always not like weird, but I think people think it's just all like kumbaya. It's like I think Draymond and Clay and go through long stretches of not like long stretches of not
yeah,
liking each other, but like they get frustrated with each other. I think that's why I always got
yeah,
frustrated when people would be like, look at the body language towards Poole, and it's like, have y'all seen these dudes' body language towards each other the last 10 years? Like this is
yeah,
kind of part of the process. This is what they do, but they've always been, I think, willing to call each other out. For
yeah.
Steph, probably the least, but he seems the least of which. But he kind of probably does it behind the scenes. But I don't know. Stephen or Clay and Dre are people who are going to speak what's on their mind, and sometimes that's about each other.
I think the dynamic too is always like you said, that just people project kind of it seems like this team is closer, tight knit, and just they win the game together. I feel like it always felt like that. Even early on, it was Clay. Steph was turning into like the family guy and getting married, and then Clay. Like it was a good balance that they didn't have to be like they could go the whole off season without really talking to each other, and then come back and click like that. And like they didn't seem to. It was like it seemed like it was simple. I think the harmony was in it that it was just simple. Like it was just a simple, good connection. It didn't have to be like that they were, so close or like best friends or anything off the court or anything. And I think I was trying to go back to is I feel like Steph might have even connected with Draymond more because I feel like
Yeah.
Draymond was just the loudest personality on the team, like pretty quickly, like from 13-14 to 14-15. Like him and Curry are both simultaneously learning how to win basketball games. And I think they just relied on, I feel like that all leads up to, I think it was the 2015 finals where was it
Yeah, they're
Draymond
the
that
ones
took
that go
step out
out.
for a
Yeah,
drink
after
in
going down
Memphis
two
or
one
it
in
was either
Memphis.
Memphis
Yeah,
or Cleveland.
it was
Yeah,
Memphis.
and it was just like it's like that was kind of like just the close well, some of the most we've ever seen. I think one of the probably most we've ever seen it, and I think even since then, I think the way Draymond Draymond's relationship with Curry, I think, is when you really separate it from all three of them together, you realize how much he's closer or trying to be closer to Steph than he is to Clay, or his journey is just so much closer and connected to Steph's is. And where I think that team started was just, yeah, a generational offensive player and a generational defensive player happening to cross at the same time, like in 2014, 15, and both of them getting starters minutes for Steph for the third season, Draymond for his first season, but yeah, no, it's just over time you look back at it. I feel like it is Draymond. I feel like maybe, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I guess I feel like it's definitely more of the Clay. Clay's just has such a great relationship with the fans and the fanfare. I guess it's just to realize it's not. Have to separate that from you're looking at the Warriors. It's like, well, I don't know. And now at this point, it's like, who on this roster fucks with Clay like that? Like not like that he's angry or mad at him, but based off his play style or anything, it's just kind of like, I don't know. He's older. Like they're not like this. They brought in a whole lot of new guys and stuff like that. It's just, yeah, just interesting to look at all three of them where they're at now, the dynamics, what the relationships have been over the last 10, 11 years and stuff. 11 years, and where it goes from here.
Yeah. Weirdly, Poole and Clay seem to kind of fuck with each other. That was always kind of funny to me. If you ever just look at quotes, they say always kind of speak highly about each other and like talk about. Poole talked a lot about Clay's positive influence on his shit, and Clay's kind of even went out his way to defend Poole like this season at certain points too.
I got to shout out Jordan Poole in a way because he was terrible in the playoffs. Let me first off say that he was bad in the playoffs. This tenor or this he was awful, like goofy awful. It was absurd. But like, yo, playing Draymond, I think he was able to navigate. He picked up a lot of bad habits from all three of our big three. I think he was able to navigate to still pick up enough habits from Steph Curry because that was the role he was put in, which is absurd when you think about it. It wasn't the Steph Curry role, but it was the first time that we've ever had a point guard handle the ball this much in our offense. And we switched our offense. Steve Kerr never did an offense this way. It was a heavy pass-based offense. It didn't involve us shooting as many threes as we shot the last 3 seasons. Didn't involve us running as much action involving a player like Jordan Poole, like we've had to since we haven't had Andrew Bogut, prime Draymond Green, initiating the offense, running everything through elite passing with Andre Iguodala and Sean Livingston on the bench. Like, never going to get that again. They played differently, and Jordan Poole has been, I think, a big part of that. I think it's why we see him fail so much because of the responsibility and being a part of such a big switch and transition of what Steve Kerr and Steph Curry are trying to do with the offense and what watching their philosophy change through the years. And they got a championship in it. Like, we got the year where Steph Curry got hurt. We got the year where James Wiseman started half the season and they missed the play-in. We got a championship and we got a second-round exit. And all in those 4 years, the Warriors' offense philosophy has been different than what it was in the KD years and in the original and the first 2 finals runs. And I think I want to give credit to really what I saw from Jordan Poole, I think, as a player, because I think it became so much about the flashiness and highlighting the boneheaded plays and stuff like that. And I think outside of the Warriors, I feel like Warriors fans are always going to be overly analytical of the players, as all fans are of their own team. I feel like outside there was not a good depiction or picture. Or when I hear people talk about Jordan Poole, it's just such an off depiction of what his regular season was, what type of player, what he offers to the team, and what he's even good at. People calling him a shooter, which like blows my mind. Like, you watch this guy play when he has a good game, he gets to the paint and he gets his teammates involved. Like that's like what Steve Kerr wouldn't even probably think about having this guy on the team for more than a year and a half putting the ball in his hands if he wasn't about if he wasn't capable of creating for others, if he was just simply a shot chucker, I guess. So the picture, I really want to see where it goes from here. I feel bad that it feels like I don't know what it is. Where I think I do think his, like I said, when it looks bad, it looks really bad with him, and I think that's probably a big reason why. But I do think that he is just an interesting young player, like who has developed a lot over the last 4 years. He just continues to get better. Every regular season of his career, he has gotten better. He has gotten better, and he has gotten smarter, and he has gotten more of understanding of what Steve Kerr and Steph Curry wanted to do with the Golden State Warriors. And he sucked this year in the playoffs, and he's probably off. He's probably out, and we probably need to go in a different direction. And I'm cool with that. But I just want to provide a little context of what I saw because I just hear people talk about when I hear people talk about Jordan Poole like he's a shooter. When I hear people talk about like he's trying to be Steph Curry, which I think is just so different than what like why would Steve Kerr and Steph Curry think they could just have somebody do what Steph Curry does? I think they're trying to create a brand new role for this player who is never going to be as who they know is never going to be anywhere as talented as Steph Curry because who is going to be as talented as Steph Curry? So yeah, the public perception, the casual fan perception, greater NBA fan, greater NBA perception of Jordan Poole is interesting to me. I'm interested to see. I'm a fan, so I want to see how his career goes from here, and hope he ends up in a solid spot next, where he can have maybe more responsibility and less pressure on the championships, where he can kind of find himself and then hopefully develop into a average defender.
Hear that, Jordan Poole? You got one fan out here probably right
And
now.
man,
Nobody likes this
people
guy
are
right
haters.
now.
I know everybody hates, man. I know. I feel like it's just the because when he celebrate, I feel like it's when he plays good too. I mean, he lets you know, celebrate the flair, the flashy. He just do stuff. He carried the basketball a lot. Like I like that. It makes me laugh. But like I understand why everybody else hates it. Like seeing this dude, he makes up moves on the fly. Like he just frequently, But he's it's just kind of I needed to let out, I guess, on just what I saw as a basketball player for Jordan Poole season by season was the guy get better and better at basketball alongside of being while he's being trained by two of the smartest, one of the smartest coaches in the league and one of the smartest players of all time. He didn't do too bad to me. We got one ring. I wouldn't have expected much when I look back at those 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still
But
with
like,
I'm
yeah,
still with
comes
him,
back
man.
to
He
the
kind
what's it
of
called?
go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
I don't
I'm still
know.
a Jordan Poole fan. I think he sucked this
I just feel
playoffs. But yeah,
like
go ahead.
feel like I don't know. I feel like it's never gonna work with him and Kerr at least. Even though he
Yeah,
did step in when
Mm-hmm.
Kerr needed him. I just feel like, yeah, long term, I just don't see it. I don't see it working out.
Then
But
we just
yeah,
got lucky.
I
Like,
don't know. It comes back a lot. That's what I don't know. We'll start I don't know, the Moody discussion too. Just I don't know.
that's
Or
not.
you kind of already talked about him, but
No,
just I
we
don't know.
talked earlier.
Today just upset me because of today, like he didn't have like a big game or anything, but just like seeing like all the little things he was doing, just like really stood out. Like kept us in the game, or just yeah, the little things he was doing, keeping us in the game for a while when we were kind of already out of it. Just like going back to thinking and then just seeing Anthony Lamb over there on the bench, and it's like, oh, I don't know. Maybe we just knew our Kerr probably knew the whole time. We just didn't have a championship team this season. Kind of, yeah, we already talked about it on previous podcasts, which kind of just bullshitted during the season just to get the wins. But it's like, I don't know. I don't get why he couldn't be a part of that more. Just,
Her weirdo.
yeah, like, yeah, you said during the game, just like, you throw him in there. Now he's going to LeBron James. Like,
Yeah, there was I
I
say
don't
saying
know.
like you saying he was doing the little things like there was a time where I think they might have maybe one of the last times they did cut it back to 12 or 10 where it was just he probably was contested a shot or contested a field goal recently, but that just the play that sticks out is when he's boxing out. I think he's like boxing out AD for extra long, and
Yeah.
the
And
ball
nobody
hits the
grabbed, yeah.
ground. Like
Yeah.
that's when you know you got
And
a good
Steph
box
had
out.
to
Like the ball
come
hits the
run and
ground.
grab
Like
the
Steph had
rebound.
to come back and
Yep.
get it. And like no, everybody's looking. I was like, he's the only player. Like you're looking around. Like everybody else is just kind of nobody's touching or enclosing. Like just Moses Moody found AD when the shot went up, and he went to go put a body on him. And if he didn't put a body on him, it would have been 2 points. And then they still were lazy to go get the ball. It was like, but yeah, no, it's like you're saying though, it's the little things to see, watch him do the little things, and like he did little things in the first round versus the Kings too. It's just so weird. I think the weirdest part of Kerr that I still try to understand, as I think I have more respect and appreciation for Kerr than I ever have had. But yeah, that's I guess the part I still don't understand. He's just when I look at Moody and Kuminga, man, it's just kind of like I think. Well, I guess when you look at Looney and you say Kerr is very comfortable developing and bringing a guy along really, really slow. Like that's just how this is the situation he was given. This is where how his brain knew how to develop a player was. I'm drafting late in the draft. We just won the championship. I got 10 players deep. I'm not used to whatever the hell this is. Kind of develop like rookies from the go. The 2 timeline thing is everyone talks about. But yeah,
That's
probably
the
blow. Just kind of confusing me. Just like no, it's like yeah, man, this is like you don't have to like Moses Moody isn't gonna pick up a bunch of insanely bad habits if you let him fail for half the season. I promise. You trust yourself. You drafted a smart guy. Like you drafted a smart player. You should believe that he deserves opportunities in the regular season to fail. And I don't think he was like I don't remember him being crazy bad in the regular season to where because I don't think he ever got that much extended time. Like I don't think his minutes were ever consistent even enough for us to say that he should definitively have not should been out not should have not been out there like he was this season. And then to turn around and see him in the playoffs as much as we did. And then
Yeah,
same other yeah, Kaminga had great moments in the regular had really good moments in the regular season this year. And I think we saw the talent on display. I thought there were times where it seemed like he like Kerr was just all in, like felt like he was gonna be all in with them and they found the trust, they found the role, they found where he fit. And I think it was still dealing it's like the young player thing though, or I guess is I have Looney to look at the example of he would rather just let this guy not play, like just not play this guy much, play this guy minimally over the first 3 to 5 years of his career, and then let him take off with all 3 to 5 years of basketball understanding. And I think it's hard for him to watch this much different process of Jonathan Kuminga is going to make mistakes. He's going to have good games. He's going to make mistakes. Like, you're going to have to live and die with it. And for some reason, the weird part, it was more comfortable with him living with Jerome and Anthony Lamb. I don't, but and yeah, that's him. I guess that's the Kerr part. That's also the organization part maybe too. So
that's the thing.
I
The
think
talk, I don't like how the talk is right. Or yeah, the talk is right now is just we didn't have a just the championship team thing is yeah, you just want to you look back, you just okay, did we really not have a championship team, or was it just us not actually trusting the youth that we had and giving yeah, just basically saying what you're saying, just giving them the time to make the mistakes so they already like so they are fully ready for the playoffs and they get some minutes versus the people that they're playing to I don't know. Yeah, just throwing somebody out there in the playoffs is just weird to me when you didn't play him all season, or
yeah,
not didn't play him all season, but just like didn't utilize him
yeah. No, I
as he
mean,
should have. Yeah,
think you
as he
can
should have been
say.
all
I
season.
think you can say in the Moody case didn't play him all season, honestly, because that's what it was. I mean,
Yeah,
he was glued to that bench for a long ass time. Like it was rare you saw him out there, and when he was out
yeah,
there, it was like, oh, he got like 10 minutes. Oh shoot, he got 20 minutes today. But then be better, like, yeah, don't play for a
yeah.
couple games. I think it's always gonna be the funniest thing or the weirdest thing about how it played out. I think the Wiseman thing was always gonna be the Wiseman thing, but the fact that Kaminga was the one that by the end of the season had like I think somebody said it or in the
Mm,
Slater Shams
article.
article, but I think last 21 games, 20 plus like 24 minutes a game, 13 points a game. Like he was a
Yeah,
part of the rotation. Like for the like it's
yeah.
that was the weirdest thing for Kaminga not being in the playoff rotation. Is like he's just been in the rotation since the All Star break, like just straight up. Like there hasn't been a night that Kaminga hasn't played like since the All Star break, unless he
and we're
was
just
hurt
not good. Like,
type
how are we
thing.
not playing good players?
Yeah, no, like type thing. The mood, I think it's the weird flip though, because like that's the guy that can't see the court in the playoffs. Like literally the entire playoffs after what the second game against Sacramento,
Hmm.
like barely sees the court in a meaningful minute again. And Moody's the guy that couldn't see the fucking court. Like you said, just couldn't get on the court all season. Like couldn't get on there. Everybody else was getting a shot. Ty Jerome. I think that's the Ty Jerome Anthony Lamb thing was more because it's like, all right, man, like because like
Yeah,
Kaminga's at least playing too. Like there was some frustrating like why is
yeah.
Lamb playing over Kaminga, but it's just like Moody's not playing
Boy,
at
Kirk
all.
goofy as hell sometimes.
But it's funny that that is the guy that ended up getting actual playoff minutes out of the two. So it's always going to be interesting. I don't know. I don't know. It's always going to be weird. I think I've talked about it in the past, but I think it all does go back. So they weren't supposed to start bad. They were supposed to start the season
Yeah.
like they start. I think they assumed they would start the season how they started the season before, where they went. They started 18-2. Yeah, they started 18-2. They started 18-2 the season before. I think they assumed like if it wasn't that, it was gonna be like 15 and
Yeah,
5,
Yeah.
right? Like, and that's the
yeah,
scenario where like everybody's gonna get to eat and Clay's gonna get to rest. Clay already kind of had to rest to start the season, but Clay's gonna get to rest. Draymond's gonna get to rest. Steph's gonna get to rest. So if the only excuse Clay maybe has for this is that like he was kind of he was getting his minutes up, got the back to back, started playing back to back games,
Yeah.
playing a lot of basketball to close the season, and maybe we're learning that Clay just can't do that. Like Clay can't be as good as he was in February this year. Was that like that January February stretch where Steph is at? He can't be that good and be able to contribute like at a high level in the playoffs. And I think that's where the original sin of the season is. They started fucking what 3-7.
Yeah, no, I mean it's just they found themselves in a hole of we're gonna be under 500. We were under 500. It feels like till December, like just right under or like fighting to scrap to just 500 and then back under, like back right back under. Like yeah, when you start that way, realize who you are, and then that's who we were for pretty much the whole year.
Yeah. You guys want Draymond back?
But that's why we just that Clay talk just now, just like what do like I don't like this shit just feels difficult with both of them to be like. It just for me, it just feels like a lot to make it work. Like both of them, like I don't know. I'm kind of just like financially, let's allocate as much money as we can to getting the best possible defender or two defenders we can get instead of Draymond. And like maybe those guys are younger and play like 80, 70 games a year, 75 games a year. I don't know. The Clay and Draymond part of like how much are we getting? Like I can't no longer ask Steph to like give us the full regular season shit like that. We saw how many games he played like the last couple of seasons. Like I don't know if we should be asking that much of him, and I don't know if we're looking at Clay, Poole, Draymond, and Wiggins as the four. Any four of those guys as the highest paid players after Steph, or like we're looking at them as the number as the second guy is or the second and third guy. It doesn't feel like I think we just need. I need the money to be going to something like that's going to sustainably give Steve Kerr a great defense night in and night out. And I know Draymond Green is probably the only. Oh, it's worth keeping Draymond Green because he's just that guy. But I think it just comes with so much more. And the age part of like the age and the offense part, I guess, is just like, all right, how much longer is it sustainable? It just feels like we're just with Draymond more like Curry's still so good. I don't think it has to feel like we're just going into it hoping our best one year after year after year. But I feel like Draymond, that's where we're at in his career. Like we're going year by year to see how much he can give you in the regular season and the playoffs, knowing that at his best, you ain't getting much better. You're not getting much better than that, but you got to get there. We're the 7th seed this year. The 7th seed. like I don't know. Draymond's still one of the 5 best defenders in basketball, probably top 3 when he's just in that mode. Like, but yeah, we were the 7th seed. How do we get Steph Curry into the playoffs? It's not the 7th seed, and I don't know if we can pay Draymond Green and Klay Thompson, or if I want to pay either of them. If it's not going to lead to regular season wins, and then regular season wins where we can build into playoff success, because I think that's what this 2 timeline thing has gotten us. Is like, yeah, the Klay Draymond thing wasn't building or developed in the regular season. They went 11-10. They had to play 20 games without Steph. Like they had to play. I think Wiggins is the player that fits most of all the new guys, that fits most with the Steph Clay Draymond thing, and was probably the original supposed to be like the original lifeline, and it was, and he worked and everything worked. But like, yeah, he missed a lot of the season this year. So then we're looking at just I don't know, how it works with those two, where we're winning enough games in the regular season, and it looks like what we're going to be winning in the playoffs too. So we're actually on tracking on the way, because I think Steph Curry is good enough where you just 82 games, a solid team that's good at defense. Him and Kerr can figure out how to get the most out of it. I think it can look very different, and they'll figure it out. But if it looks too different, then maybe it takes them too long. So figure it out. Jordan, Draymond, Clay, both or neither, or one of them.
Man, I feel like they're gonna end up keeping both. I feel like they're gonna end up keeping both, but I don't know. I don't know if I want either right now, but yeah, I don't know.
So, just kind of want to break it down. I feel like something you said made me want to look it up. So I just got the payroll for next year in front of me. So only people that are not under contract next season, are not guaranteed under contract next season, are Jermichael, Andre, Lamb, Ty Jerome, Lester, Quinones. So those are the only players not technically under roster, which means you have a lot of opportunities to make trades and things like that. Draymond does have a player option, so Draymond's probably not eligible to be traded unless it's to. Probably not going to be able to trade Draymond unless to a place that he specifically wants to go to, because he's going to have to accept that player option to be traded, or like he might be able to decline and extend. I think he would have to accept the trade exception on like, and
Yeah.
then or accept the player option to take the trade. So
Mhm.
he's probably not as flexible of a piece to move, but everybody else is pretty much movable. Oh, and Dante has a player option which he's probably taking. So we
Mhm.
assume that you're probably not bringing Dante back because I don't know how they get their salaries low enough to make that possible. To even be able to afford him what like a baseball he's gonna earn. He was bad in the playoffs. Maybe a contract's not gonna be as high as I think, but we'll see. So, well, that's what I was gonna kind of say. Mikal Bridges, I think is a yes. I think if I told you guys you could trade Jordan Poole, Jonathan Kuminga, and Andrew Wiggins plus a pick or two,
However
or as
many
much picks as you
picks.
could for Michael Bridges, you
Yeah.
guys would be all in on that. Again, you don't give up Clay or Dre in that deal because I don't think Brooklyn
That
wants
one's
them.
fine. Yeah.
So
I get that.
that's pie in the sky. Doubt that's
He
happening.
is the he is the
But
one. I'd say that to or just real quick
mm-hmm,
to the evolution of the 3-man or the Harrison Barnes, the KD,
yeah,
the Andrew
yeah,
Wiggins. Mikal Bridges does boost us back up. I
yeah.
feel like to where we was closer to the never KD again, but like closer to that range than we are to the
Oh yeah,
Harrison
no, the
Barnes
guy
range.
averaged 28 a game after the trade,
Yeah.
essentially.
Ooh, that shit would be beautiful.
I feel like
Oh man, give
that's how
Stephen
you
Curry some real help.
that gives. But man. I mean, I could go.
So that's where go ahead.
Draymond and Mikal would be cold. Would be cold.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That was yeah, it's easy. He still got he can shoot. You're good. Shoots better than Wiggins from three, I would assume. Actually, Wiggins became a pretty good catch and shoot guy with the Warriors.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild, but okay. Other because again, I think that's a little pie in the sky. Totally get it's there. It's possible.
Just gotta say it.
What you willing to give up for OG or Pascal? Those seem to be two of the other names that are gettable. At least at the next tier. I don't know if there's a better name in between them and Mikal Bridges.
Ooh, uh,
Who was
Unless
my?
you got to think of a different player that you think's attainable.
There was three players that I really wanted on the Warriors. Mikal Bridges was the dream, was the most unrealistic. I feel like, but the other two made more sense. But they might not be, might be kind of a
Oh,
different conversation.
Caruso.
Forget, he would be nice. I don't think it was him though. God damn, I would take Caruso. Caruso was nice.
Yeah, I don't know how gettable.
was it Zach Levine? It wasn't Zach Levine,
No,
was
no,
it?
no.
No,
It was younger. It was younger.
That's another
Okay.
guy that I would say he's in the same tier as the two guys I just mentioned. I think the other two guys make a lot more sense as Warriors, but I think Zach Levine is gettable in a similar way. Unless he's a free agent, he might be a free agent, so maybe not.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
I think we
OG.
got
Unless you could think of somebody else,
OG.
what would you give up for
Yeah,
OG or
I'm kind of off the
Pascal,
Toronto
or for
dudes, but I
both
don't
if you
watch
want
them
to
play
try to
enough.
get both?
Yeah, I think Toronto dudes interesting. I've always kind of not been too fond of. I don't know why. Pascal's really
Dang,
good.
hater.
No, I don't know why. I feel like Curry and Pascal, we can keep Draymond. Then
Stephen
yeah, I
Curry's
guess.
never played with a player like Pascal Siakam.
Well, man, Anthony Randolph. I'm coming back around. That's the same play type. Nah, just kidding.
That's what I'm saying.
It is
Just
a
I
dream
don't
though. I
know.
mean, it's the dream.
Yeah,
That's what Don Nelson's drunk ass thought was going to happen.
yeah, probably.
Pascal Siakam was. I mean,
I don't
Anthony
know if
Randolph
he
was
could. I
supposed
don't
to be
know if
Pascal
Don Nelson could
Siakam.
even imagine a Pascal type. Pascal's not like a
Yeah,
superstar. Like I don't know, just a guy you can get. He averaged like 25 a game this year.
24. I think he's like 25 a game now. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's legit.
he's a
Yeah,
bucket.
yeah.
He can pass. He's not like a Draymond level passer, but again, Draymond's still going to be on the team. He fits.
Yeah, I
oh,
like
we
that.
about to
No, I like it.
sign. We about to get
We lost to him in
Dylan
the
Brooks.
finals.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that's definitely happening. That's the perfect spur rehabilitation. It's like, oh yeah, give us the guy that we all hated. We're gonna show you guys all. Now y'all, we convinced the league that he sucks. Now we're gonna take him and turn him into a hooper.
I feel like it's gonna make me mad because I'm just gonna miss
Ooh,
Jordan Poole, man.
that's another Canadian. That's another Canadian too.
Oh,
Sorry,
he
but
Canadian? That makes sense.
yeah,
Mm.
Yeah. No, Brooks. Yeah, we can get Brooks on low. But Brooks was actually for money though. Brooks wanted a bag.
I would have figured, but I don't know who's giving it to him. I mean, he's a good player. I think somebody's gonna give him
Yeah.
some money, but I don't know if it's good. He might. I could see him looking at the landscape and be like, oh, or I could take a mid level and play for the Warriors and get a better contract next
Nigga
year.
gonna get paid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dylan Brooks. No, yeah. Siakam. I got to take away my Toronto hate. Maybe I don't know why it's even there. So like But yeah, anyways, yeah,
So I
Siakam,
guess just
OG.
start in the
What would we
same
give up
place.
for
Kaminga.
him?
Well,
I
that's
would
what I
give
was
up a
asking
lot.
you. What are you willing? Yeah.
At this point, yeah, I would do it. I think that was probably me beginning of the year. Wasn't willing to give up like Poole and Kaminga for like I just
You
where
give
I
up.
saw them where we're at. But like yeah, at this point, I'm looking if we can get OG and Pascal, I'm getting rid of all the young
Well,
dudes.
I don't think you're getting both. Like I don't
Yeah,
think you're getting both for the same package for Bridges. But
yeah,
I
yeah.
guess I don't know. I don't know if you have to give up Wiggins. That's the other part of it. That's
Oh, that's
interesting.
yeah, that's I mean that too. Yeah,
I
I mean
think if you
I
can get
would
away
I'm
with,
comfortable
yeah,
getting both of those guys, giving rid of Wiggins if I can get both of those guys. I think you sacrificing some depth, but I don't think.
I still don't think I don't know if you even get that one. To be honest,
Yeah, yeah.
a
No,
bunch of
I don't know
picks.
what people are looking at. Like,
Yeah,
well, that's the other part of this is like I don't really. Kaminga needed to play so we can have his value at
yeah.
least. Like I feel like if he had, it wasn't. I think that's probably the part they be scared about too. I feel like they always be trying to play that game. I feel like
With the
of
trade value.
hiding the guy with the sign
Yeah,
value, but or versus yeah, building the trade value, whatever it is. But like, yeah, Kaminga just feels like I don't know what the perception of the league is. I feel like teams kind of have an upper hand on us in negotiation
hmm
with Poole and Kaminga because we played Poole so much and put so much probably role and responsibility into him in the regular season, and he blew off in the playoffs. And then you got Kaminga where it's like
Pools.
where it's like I think we've seen enough where like people are looking at him like neither of their values feel like they're probably in a great place right now.
Yeah, Pools going to be an interesting trade where it's going to be. Everybody keeps saying Orlando, but it does just make a lot of sense. It's just, oh yeah, like give me like Terrence Ross, they have like two other vets.
Nah,
Just give me all.
T. Ross out of there.
Oh, he's not there anymore.
T.
He's in
Ross was in the
Phoenix.
playoffs. He was in
Oh
Phoenix.
yeah, he was. Yeah, that happened.
The random winks. But yeah,
Yeah,
no,
they're a
I don't.
weird
Yeah,
ass team. Yeah, I don't know who, but yeah, there's probably something out there where you can get
Jonathan
maybe.
Isaac.
Somebody said Jalen Brown's coming to the Warriors, and I just do not come to the Warriors, please.
I actually don't mind
Hooper.
it.
I don't know
I
how they
know
get
I've
him.
been.
I don't
I'm
like
not.
it.
Yeah, I don't like it
I
either,
know.
but yeah, he can play, man. Even if he can't dribble, boy can't dribble, which is frustrating as hell. But he can play basketball. I feel like Coley and Simmons both individually have admitted that Jalen can't dribble. So now I feel validated for saying it the whole time. I said like we all knew, man.
Now it's like feel like now that
That
I think
man
so. I watched
got
who
about
was it?
six.
Is it Ball Don't Stop or one of them
Oh yeah,
dudes did do that do the clips or the travels? I was once I see them roast. I feel like what's the air
it
was
wasn't
broken,
ball don't
but
stop. It was the other one.
it
But
was
yeah,
the other dude. Yeah, but yeah, now
bless him
Jalen.
on
I
your
would say
page.
Jalen is a good ass number two for I think a
That
lot
would
of people
be
not named Jason Tatum.
Jordan, it seems like what did Ben Simmons just pique your interest? I was talking about Bill Simmons, but if you thinking Ben Simmons rehabilitation
yes, I
project,
was talking about Ben Simmons.
rehabilitation, that might be as much as Dylan Brooks would be probably the funniest Warriors rehabilitation project. Ben Simmons would be the biggest. Like Wiggins was one thing. If they can do it with Simmons, that shit would be crazy.
Our fans would hate him, but
Yeah, they would.
that shit would be funny.
They hated Wiggins till they stopped hating Wiggins.
Yeah.
Is he still on?
Once you
He's
get
on the
around
Nets.
Stephen
Yeah, you
Curry,
know.
I mean, is he
it's
still
like a
paid?
lot of people.
Yeah. His contract.
Yeah.
He's in the middle
Yeah.
of a max.
He's in the middle. I'm gonna say how much longer. That's the only. I feel like I'm ready for. I feel like whenever Ben Simmons comes available, I feel like Warriors gonna swoop in, get that dude for the minimum, and then he's gonna have at least one good
Yeah.
season on the Warriors whenever it happens.
That's the
And if
kind
they
of.
see
I
the
think
Dylan
that's
Brooks
what the
thing,
Jordan
I feel
Poole
like we
trade's
getting
gonna
Joel
be.
Embiid at like 36. When Joel Embiid like 36, he's gonna come to the Warriors and have one good year, get his get a ring with us.
Patrick Ewing on the Rockets.
Mm.
Hakeem
Or
Olajuwon on the Rockets, or on the Raptors.
the Raptors. Yeah. But
Um,
nah, yeah. Go ahead.
no, go ahead. You're good.
I forgot. Okay, forgot.
Yeah, no, I was saying Pools. I feel like Poole Simmons feels like a thing that could happen. I feel like because I feel like just I don't know what Poole's value as an asset actually is right now, but I feel like I don't know. They look. I feel like the Nets can look at Poole and be like, "Well, we're letting Spencer Dinwiddie try to do it. Might as well give this kid a shot." In the
He'd be better
mix.
than Spencer at it. I'll tell you all that.
Yeah. So maybe there Simmons would be interesting. The Simmons rehabilitation project. I don't know if anybody can do it, but the Warriors at this point, to be honest. So everybody would
I don't
Get
know if I
around
want to go
Stephen
down that
Curry,
road
start
again.
to
I
like
want
basketball again.
to
Steph
He
move
might
Curry
on
would
just
and
make
go.
you
become a
like
hooper.
basketball again. I mean, think about it. Kevon Looney and Draymond Green can't take shots out of 10 feet, so it's not
I ain't
like
trying to do this again though. I want some players who can take shots out of 10 feet. I'm tired of having a Negro who can't shoot us out of 10 feet. It's cool. Draymond been fun, man. I'm just like, if
they
he don't
had. I
stay
mean,
too,
the
I'm
Warriors had a
cool.
bunch of guys. The Warriors shot a fuck ton of threes this year. I don't know. I don't know if I
No,
need
they're
more
here.
of it.
Yeah.
They
I don't
just,
know. Yeah, we just need better players.
yeah. Ben Simmons, Ben Simmons is better than Jermichael Green. At the end of the day,
Mm.
Yeah,
We had
from what we
Jermichael
saw
Green
this
out
year.
there starting against Anthony Davis in the NBA. Yeah, we weren't supposed to win.
twice.
This season was crazy.
The Lakers hilarious though, because I just feel like Lakers. They need to step his game up. We supposed to be the new Showtime, the new Lakers development. Like, we need to go superstar chasing again, or or just even watching them just throw this roster together. It's just like to see them just throw like they just threw this. I don't know, the most Lakers thing ever to just kind of throw a team together that has a chance to go to the NBA championship. Just yeah, no, it's about finding guys like Ben Simmons. I feel like just the Lakers went through the runaround of finding a lot of washed up guys or guys that nobody wanted, and landed on many different over the last couple since the championship, really, but even just the microcosm of this season, like where the roster landed, just the willingness to just kind of throw paint at the wall and just get more guys in there, just try something different, try some. LeBron and Anthony Davis are really good. That's what they knew. Keep rotating it so we get some motherfuckers who can help them get further and shit like that. But if it ends up working, see how they do against Denver. But I was wondering with the Warriors, it just feels like we're still stuck in a. Like I said, this 4 years has been a transition for us after what happens next, like the kind of with the dynasty or what happens if the dynasty can't continue after what I think was this. Them kind of cementing it with that ring over those last 4 years. I think they need like that too. But like, yeah, what happens next now? Like, what have you guys learned from all your 3 different phases? Your KD phase, your 4 year post KD phase, your 14, 15, 15, 16.
Unfortunately, they don't have the Warriors didn't have a clearly, demonstrably harmful player like Russell Westbrook on their team. That was easy. If you swap that guy out and just put anybody else in there, it's probably going to be better. But now but they have a situation where it's like, yeah, I don't know. I think we all look at this situation as like, this isn't unsalvageable. This isn't unsafe. Steph Curry's fucking amazing still. There's a way to get this team to compete for a championship next year. You just got to figure out how to do it. I think much would look at y'all they got lucky as fuck, man. Not even lucky as fuck. It kind of, there is a level of luck to it. There's a level of like, those like Steph Curry's just so good, and Clay was good at Clay had a lot of great moments in that playoffs, and Draymond had enough great moments in those playoffs, and they got lucky. Otto Porter was fucking perfect. Otto Porter was a you brought Sean Livingston and Andre. Otto Porter was a Sean Livingston, Andre Iguodala level player for not even for 1 season in his career, and it wasn't even really close to a full season. It just happened to be enough playoff games for it to like help win a champ. Like, they got lucky. Otto Porter played like 5 games this season.
Yeah.
GP2
played
more games for the Warriors than he did for the Blazers this season, I'm pretty sure. Like,
yeah.
They got lucky. I don't know. They got to get lucky again.
Got lucky. Yeah, man. Yeah. Honestly, it kind of feels like maybe that's what we're feeling with the Lakers now, where we could look at a lot where these guys are after this year, or like whether they'll be on the Lakers or not. But like, if they even just making it to the finals, I feel like for them to just be like, yeah, y'all, like all of these guys, like kind of lucky with the way all these pieces kind of came together that you got kind of pretty quickly, and then yeah, like for the Warriors, it was just the lucky to see kind of all the pieces of that team. I think the most you saw was the 18-2 start, but even that was different than what we saw throughout the playoffs. Didn't even have Klay Thompson. What we saw throughout the playoffs, but it was from every single person that people probably wouldn't have from every single person like you didn't expect probably down the line. That starts with Looney, Wiggins, and Draymond being all better in the playoffs at times where they needed to be that we didn't expect, and then down the line to the Poole, Otto Porter, GP2, just like every single one of them kind of contribute. Like every single one of them having moments where they contributed like above the value or in connection with the team. Like, so like maybe the Lakers look like maybe Devo's not on this team next year, even if they do make it to the finals. But solid enough and had enough good games to get them there. And Vanderbilt is one of those guys that just really useful versus the Golden State Warriors, really useful versus Curry, especially the first couple games. And all this, Rui. I don't know what happens with Rui's career after this. I feel like, but this is definitely like Otto Porter last year, like just having a good contribution to a good playoff team out of nowhere, even though he didn't get a lot of regular season time with him, much at all. Lakers gonna do it?
I don't want to sound like a hater because I think the Lakers are really good, man, and I wouldn't be shocked if they win it. It would be hilarious if this is just a 7-8 final. It has to be first time in history. Yeah, I don't think a 7's ever been to the finals anyway, and there's only been one other time an 8 has been to even the conference finals. I don't think it's impossible, but the Nuggets also look like kind of a machine right now. So
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see how it goes. They looked really fucking good in that game 6. I feel like I didn't sit down and watch a lot of that series, but fucking game 6, them niggas look really good. It's kind of funny to see the Suns lose the same way again. New team, new situation, just another 30 pop. That's kind of crazy. In Phoenix. But they look really good. It's hard to pick. I feel like they kind of are the favorites now. I feel like it was hard to find the favorites in the playoffs, but as we kind of wind down, I feel like it kind of has to be the Nuggets. But also, they probably, I don't know, it's LeBron, it's AD. They've done it. They've done it for 2 rounds now, maybe. This is going to be the biggest test for them, but can't put anything past them at this point. Y'all think? Y'all picking the Lakers?
I think I got Nuggets. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, I'm on the Jamal Murray hype train now. I was like, oh damn, this dude's actually like just coming back from the injury and stuff. Just seeing, he's comfortable, like especially this playoffs.
I forgot how consistent his mid-range jumper felt. Like I don't know, the numbers probably back it up. It's like, oh no, like it's like kind of the types of makes too. Like I don't know the way he shoots the ball. Just like I feel like he's gonna hit it, and when he hits, he's pretty good with it. So they look really good. Even Michael Porter looks good, kind of in the mix. Seems like it's all coming together at the right time for him. But you never know. AD is a disruptive force, but also they have a lot more good offensive players than the Golden State Warriors put on the court in that last round. I'll tell you that. So, we'll see. Any other last thoughts on the Warriors? We'll probably talk more over the summer about the team. We got lotteries and drafts and free agency and everything coming soon. But any parting thoughts? I think we're going to try to wait maybe till after Philly and Boston game 7 and maybe preview second round on Sunday. Preview conference finals on Sunday. But any last Warriors thoughts before we wrap?
Ooh, man. Curry still got it. Y'all better get it.
Curry deserves better. Yeah.